Shalom Uvracha. Parashas Acharei includes the Torah section that deals with Arayos, sexual prohibitions. Indeed, we read this section at Mincha of Yom Kippurim, Yom Kippur. It's that central to the Torah. And at the end of this section, the Torah says that we must refrain from all of these actions. From all of these, the Torah calls them to'evos, acts that are abominable. And through that, v'lo taki ha'aretz eschem, the land will not spew us out, as it spewed the nations that came before us, that were not particular about these acts, and therefore the land rejected them, ejected them from dwelling upon the land. And if we don't want to suffer the same fate, then we need to live in accordance with these principles, with these laws. And the question is, the Torah promises Avraham Avinu, the promise of the nation, and the promise of the land. Lezaracha etein es haaretz hazois. I shall give this land to your offspring. It doesn't make this conditional on sexual prohibitions. Why is this so emphasized? Why does our dwelling upon the land depend on these laws? And I think the answer hinges on understanding the meaning of the word mishpat. Mishpat is often translated to mean justice. Mishpat, as in keeping the law, as in the courts of law, which is where we pronounce, which is where we deal with mishpat. Avraham Avinu is told, or Hashem says about Avraham Avinu, Ki idativ, I know him, L'man asher yetzav v'esponav v'espesu acharav, v'shamru derech Hashem. They will keep, his offspring will keep the way of Hashem, the way of God, lasos tzedakah u'mishpat, to do tzedakah, righteousness, u'mishpat. But the truth is that in our passage, in this section of the Arayos, we find the word mishpatim in connection with these laws. Ushmartem atem es hachukim ve'es hamishpatim. These are called mishpatim. And indeed, in Parashas Mishpatim, that follows immediately after the giving of the Torah, part of Parashas Mishpatim is also sexual transgressions. They appear as a part of Mishpatim to teach us that the idea of Mishpat is not just restitution between one man and his fellow in monetary matters. It includes that too, but it's not limited to that. Mishpat means to go on the path of the just. In English, justice and the path of the just go together. It's not just about monetary affairs. It's about doing the right. It's about going on the path of the just that knows how to distinguish between right and wrong, between good and evil. And that's why the leaders are called shoftim before the time of the kings. Those who led the Jewish people were called shoftim, judges, not because they adjudicated necessarily in monetary matters, but because they led the people in doing the just, in following the path of righteousness that knows to distinguish, to discriminate between good and evil. And all of these mitzvot in matters of sexual affairs between man and woman, men and women, these deal with a very central area of life. We know how central these areas of between men and women are to humanity. In these matters, ensuring that we walk the path of the just is crucial. Is crucial to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is crucial to leading a life of elevation, of goodness, of justice, of walking the path of the just, of mishpatim. And that's why if we don't live up to the type of life that Hashem expects from us, then we don't merit to dwell upon the land that was promised to Avraham Avinu. It was promised to him in order that we should be able to live the life, that a godly life, the life that HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects from us. And I feel that this is so relevant today when we live in a world that seems to have entirely lost its moral compass. Thank God there are still some out there who appreciate the severity of the moment and who speak against the type of phenomena that we're experiencing, that we see today around the world, even in areas that we thought were steeped and imbued with values that we share. And today we see how distant many are from the path of the just, how they can support unspeakable acts of violence and aggression and tortures, those committed by the Hamas against the Jewish people, how every injustice can be supported in the name of helping out those who are presumed to be the weak and to be the oppressed. And we see that the world is losing its moral compass. It's up to us, the children of Israel, those who merit today to live upon the promised land, the land promised to Avraham Avinu, to live up to our mission of mishpat, to our mission of walking the path of the just, as our parasha and many other parashios tell us and urge us to follow this path. And if we do so, then we'll be able to, number one, merit remaining upon this land, that the land shouldn't Khalila spew us out, but beyond that, to become a lighthouse to the rest of the world, to be a mamleches kohanim, a nation of priests, v'goy kadosh, and a holy nation, to bring instruction, to bring guidance, to bring light to all those areas of darkness around the world, and to fulfill our mission, both to ourselves and to the rest of the world. Halavai, we should live up to this holy duty of being a mamleches kohanim, of following the path of mishpat, of tzedakah or mishpat, and we should be zeicha, we should merit salvation and redemption that we so require today. We should have a wonderful Shabbos.